Hi there, welcome to part 2 of Fixing My Bite, my video diary about my jaw surgery. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the chaos I experienced with medical insurance over leading up to my surgery next month. Where to begin, really? I had my braces put on at the beginning of 2014. How medical insurance works for procedures like jaw surgery, you don't just go and have something like that done, give them your insurance information, and expect for your insurance to just cover it. That kind of operation is pretty expensive for the insurance companies, and so they require you to request authorization prior to even having the surgery. Well, I made sure to get all that taken care of when I was working at the company I was working at in 2014. We'll call them Company A. We had pretty good insurance, and my jaw surgeon's office put in a request for the surgery to be done. And some weeks later, they got approval from my insurance company at the time, which was Blue Cross Blue Shield. Great. Perfect. Some weeks later, the surgery got approved, and there wasn't much more I needed to do, except for I wasn't ready for the surgery yet. I had only had my braces on, I think maybe 6 months at the time, but that doesn't matter for the authorization. The authorization can happen anytime prior to the surgery, as long as your insurance information doesn't change. Well, summer of 2014, I got a new job, and it didn't even occur to me that my insurance at my new job would not cover it. I didn't even think about it. I start my new job, 6 or 7 months go by. I think it's around April or so of 2015, and my orthodontist tells me I'm ready for the surgery. Great. So I had another consultation with my jaw surgeon, and I told them that my insurance information had changed. So they asked me to give my new information, and they would send in the request for authorization from my insurance company at the time at my new employer, which was Health Partners. A couple weeks later, I got a voicemail message from the insurance coordinator at my oral surgeon's office, breaking the bad news to me that the oral surgery was an exclusion on our health insurance plan at my new job. Here's the voicemail in its entirety.
Hi, Ron. This is Becky calling from the oral surgery office. I did contact Health Partners today, and they are stating that it's an exclusion on your plan. I just need to know how you'd like to move forward.
When I played that voicemail first time, my heart nearly sank. I had no clue what I was going to do. I had no clue what it cost at the time, but I knew insurance was pretty important for something like this. By the way, if I had any inclination or foresight when I switched jobs that my surgery would not be covered at my new employer, I would have absolutely taken COBRA benefits. For those who don't know, COBRA benefits are basically a way of you being able to keep your insurance policy from a former employer when you quit, get laid off, have a life-changing event, etc. It's a way for you to pay out of pocket to keep that insurance as long as you need it, or up to a year after you, or don't hold me to that. But I absolutely would have taken COBRA benefits had I known or had any foresight that it wouldn't be covered at my new employer. I called the insurance coordinator at my jaw surgeon's office. She basically told me to contact Health Partners directly and see what was up, why it was denied. Before I contacted Health Partners, I decided to look through our summary of benefits for the 2015 year. And some insurance policies have a list of exclusions, things that they will not cover. And number 41 on this list of exclusions from our medical plan was orthodontic surgery, which is jaw surgery. There were details throughout the pamphlet that imply that they covered some types of surgery, but they seemed to only cover surgery for TMJ, temporomandibular jaw disorder. I have had symptoms in the past of TMJ, but I have never actually been diagnosed with TMJ. So I inquired to my jaw surgeon's office if they thought any of my symptoms lined up with the symptoms known for TMJ when surgery is usually diagnosed for TMJ. And they told me that unfortunately my condition wasn't TMJ, and that even if it was, it wouldn't help us much, because TMJ, they usually only resort to surgery as a last-ditch effort. They usually try things like physical therapy. Sometimes those type things work just fine. After finding out that my condition couldn't be classified as TMJ, the insurance coordinator at my oral surgeon's office asked me if I would like for her to prepare a estimate of what it would cost out of pocket. Now, I knew it was expensive, but I was thinking perhaps if it was in the $5,000 range, I could maybe wing it. Like, it still would have set me back, and I probably would have drained my savings in order to pay for it. But I thought maybe if it was around $5,000, I could wing it. She gets back to me and tells me that out of pocket, it would cost $26,000. $26,000. Like, taking on that kind of debt would be as though I hadn't paid any student loans from the time I graduated in 2011. It simply was not going to happen. So I was still in a frenzy, had no clue what I was going to do. Once my mind had cleared and the fog had cleared, I realized a potential solution for myself. And that was wait until November, when open enrollment happens each year, drop my employer's insurance that I had all throughout 2015, and for the 2016 year, buy my own personal medical policy that was completely separate from my employer, and to make sure that the policy that I bought for myself for 2016 would cover the orthognathic surgery. So, working with the insurance coordinator at my oral surgeon's office, getting the medical procedure codes and the medical policy codes that hospitals use to tell insurance companies what they're doing. She gave me what codes I should ask about. I called up Blue Cross Blue Shield of Minnesota and inquired about what plans of theirs they had that would cover orthognathic surgery. Basically, all of their plans covered it, but it was just a different, each of their plans varied in terms of out-of-pocket costs, their deductibles, their co-pays and whatnot. But it's fairly easy to plan for buying medical insurance when you know roughly or at minimum what your insurance costs are going to be for the year. I knew that I was going to be having a surgery that cost roughly $26,000. And so picking the policy with the lowest out-of-pocket maximum was clearly the best course of action for me. The plan I ended up buying was a $2,000 deductible plan, and the out-of-pocket maximum for that plan was also $2,000. So, knowing that my maximum out-of-pocket cost would be $2,000, that's all I'd have to pay for. That's all I'll have to pay for that surgery. My premiums are really high. My premiums are roughly $350 a month, but $350 times 12 for the year, plus the $2,000 out-of-pocket max, is still far under $26,000. So it's manageable. Additionally, since I knew that I would be experiencing at least $2,000 in medical costs for this year, during open enrollment at my employer, we have the ability to allocate up to $2,500 of FSA dollars pre-tax from our paychecks. So what that means is at the beginning of the year, I have $2,400 FSA money that I can use to pay that deductible, pay that out-of-pocket maximum that I will have for the surgery once it happens. So I'll still have to pay my premiums every month, but the out-of-pocket max for the surgery should be covered by my FSA dollars that I allocated, so instead of having to pay that $2,000 all at once, it'll just be taken on my check slowly throughout the year. Pretty nice system, because that way you don't have to worry about like doing payment plans with your insurance company or with your surgeon's office. So someone in my last video, I believe his name was Dan, asked if 2 years for braces prior to jaw surgery is typical, and no, it's not typical. My oral surgeon, and my orthodontist told me it's roughly usually a year of braces, jaw surgery, then another year of braces. In my case, because my insurance company in 2015, mine had to stay on for 2 years. So basically, my teeth have been ready for the surgery since like spring of last year, 2015. And there's been little to no progress in the movement of my teeth because the orthodontist can't move the teeth any further until they know where their jaws are going to end up in their final spot. Once the jaws are aligned properly, they can then do the final adjustments of the teeth to make sure the bite is lined up correctly and that I don't have any gaps and I don't have any areas that are higher or lower than one another. But for, I think, 6 months of last year, they had wire tied my brackets down because my teeth didn't move at all. So why not? If any of you find yourself in the same predicament that I was with your insurance not covering your surgery, unfortunately, you may have to do what I did, and that's wait. But thankfully, there is a course of action provided you can afford your own medical insurance policy. And that's just wait until open enrollment and make absolute certain to call and ask the insurance companies that you're looking to buy a plan from, a medical policy from, prior to buying the policy to make absolute certain that it covers the surgery you need. Because it was such a low point in 2015 for me to find out that I was not going to be able to have my surgery when it was originally planned. And as a result, now thankfully I'm able to have it, but as a result now, I'm having to kind of rush it in the beginning of the year in order to have it done in time for my wedding, which is less than ideal, but thankfully it can happen. If I haven't made it absolutely clear throughout this video, Becky from my oral surgeon's office was a huge help in figuring out all of this stuff and helping me figure out which plan I should buy for 2016 and just kind of being there to hear me out and answer any questions I had. She was a great resource. So if you do find yourself in the same position I did, the insurance coordinator at your oral surgeon's office is likely a great resource to help you through it and answer anything you might have. So thank you so much, Becky, if you ever see this. This video went on a little longer than I originally planned, but such is the case when you're talking about insurance. That's all I have for now. My next video, I'll share some paperwork and checklists that I received in the mail from my oral surgeon's office on prepping for the surgery and all that fun stuff. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.